In this video, I'm going to show you how to clean and lubricate your Palmetto State Armory Dagger, so stay tuned. It's a pretty easy process to actually clean these guns. If you have any experience with a Glock, especially the Glock 19 Gen 3, which this gun's modeled after, it is the exact same process, but I'll go through in detail how to do it with this gun here. And what I have in front of me is just a variety of things that I use for cleaning. You can use any of these that you have or other products as well. I do use gun patches for the most part. You could also use paper towels, cut up t-shirts, whatever you want just to wipe everything down with. And then any type of gun cleaner, a solvent of your choice. I have Ballistol and Brake Clean down in front of me. I typically use Ballistol the most. And then some sort of lubricator. Most of these act as lubricators too, but I like these precision lubricating bottles so that way you can get into tight areas. And then some sort of bore snake or cleaning rod. So I have a couple different ones. I do have a bore snake. If you ever had a Glock comes with these rods here that you can use along with the brush for that. You can also use these standard rods that you find in most other things. Brush that you'll need as well. And then I also like to use the silicone cloths, which I'll get to at the very end if you plan on storing your gun for a long period of time without using it. And then because I always get comments on my videos of not wearing gloves, I have some gloves to wear for those who always comment on that. So let's go ahead and get started. I will try and post links to some of the stuff I have here that you can still get on Amazon, but just kind of shop around. Most of your big box stores should have these in the gun aisle, or you can order stuff online, whatever. So first thing we want to do to actually field strip this gun here, we're going to go ahead and hit that magazine release button, drop that out of there. And then you want to make sure that the gun is empty, which this one is, and go ahead and point it in a safe direction, pull the trigger, and then you'll see these two tabs on both sides of the frame. You're going to want to grab the frame kind of like this and then push forward with your thumb. Makes it a little bit easier as you're pulling back on the slide, just about 1/8 of an inch, about right there. And then you're going to go ahead and both sides of those takedown levers, press those down, and then pull the slide off of the frame just like that. So we're going to go ahead and set the frame aside for right now. To take the recoil spring and barrel out, we're just going to push that forward and pull it out. Same thing with the barrel. Pull up and out. And then this is about as far down as you need to take it for your general cleaning and maintenance. First thing I like to do is take the gun cleaner. I like Ballistol because it is an aerosol spray, and just spray everything down. I do actually recommend getting a tech mat if you don't have one, especially if you're going to be doing it inside on a surface you might not want to get dirty or have these gun solvents stain. This will actually soak up all the solvents and stuff like that and not bleed through to the table underneath. So just something nice to have as well. They're pretty cheap. You can get them at gun shows or online as well. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and spray directly onto this mat. Not a big deal of it bleeding through. So I'm just going to go ahead and spray on the inside of the barrel. Just get it nice and wet. And then the outside of the barrel, I'm going to spray as well. And then I'm just going to put that off to the side and let that soak and break everything down. So I'm going to take a couple cleaning patches here. And then I'm just going to wet them down. And then take your slide and just kind of rub all over inside of the slide. Anywhere you see gunk and stuff, just make sure you get in there. And then make sure you get here. Just kind of wipe everything down inside the slide that you can see. Make sure it gets all wet. And then take a brush if you have one, depending on how dirty your gun is, and just kind of scrape the inside of it. Make sure you get all the buildup and stuff in there. You definitely want to make sure that your firing block, you don't get a bunch of stuff in there. So I like to tilt it up this way just to make sure there's nothing going down in there, especially any solvents. Not a huge deal. It's just you don't want a bunch of crud getting in there to cause issues. So just be mindful of that. But go ahead and anywhere there's gunk and stuff, just give it a nice brushing. Loosen everything up as well. Again, my gun's not that dirty, so just depends on how dirty yours is. It may take you a little bit more. Then I'm going to take another clean patch, put some more spray on there, and just rub it down again all inside there. Now, how clean you get your gun and parts is completely up to you. I like to get mine clean enough to where I don't get any black stuff showing up on the patches. So once you do that, I'm going to just start now with the dry patches and start running it through here to get everything kind of cleaned up and dried out. And another tool that's nice are these picks. Helps you get into some of these areas like the slide rails here. So I'm going to take another clean cloth, and to get into these slide rails, I just take this pick and just kind of run the patch through it like that, and you'll see it gets all the crud out of the slide rails where you typically can't reach. Do it for the other side here. And these picks you can get in sets. They're pretty cheap as well. And it's kind of nice to get in some of like the corners and everything. If you can't with your hands get in those corners, if you got any gunk in there, go ahead and do that. Use it to clean all around here. So just keep wiping it down until you get it as clean as you want to. Again. All right. And then obviously wipe down the exterior of the slide as well. And as I was going through that, I forgot to put on my gloves. So I will get those put on for all you safety Sallies out there. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the barrel now. Go ahead and take your patches or whatever. I'm just gonna take a paper towel just to show you that. And just wipe the outside of the barrel down. Get all that cleaner and stuff off of there. Kind of clean along here as well. All right, so now we're gonna clean the inside of the barrel. And if you don't have a bore snake or anything, take one of these rods, or if you have one of these with this end on it, you can use that as well. But then what you'll do is just put the patches through here and run them through the barrel. And do that, keep doing that. And then you can also take one of these brushes, screw that onto the end, and run it through here a few times. It really helps break a lot of that stuff up there as well. And then you can just run your patches through there the same way. If you do have a bore snake, which I like these just because they're easier, you're just gonna run it through the barrel as well. And it already has brushes and everything on there to get the gunk out. So just makes it a little bit quicker than using the rod and patches. You can run it through a couple times, however many times you want to. Just look inside the barrel, make sure all the gunk and everything is out of there. And with these bore snakes, it only takes a few passes as well. So once that is actually done, and if you want to go ahead and maybe re-spray the outside just to make sure any other crap that came out of the barrel is off of there. Or just keep wiping it down until you're not getting any gunk or anything showing up on your cloth. And get inside these lugs here. You may need to take a brush if you have a lot of buildup right here. You may need to take like a brush and kind of brush that area right there if you're seeing some buildup there or anywhere else. But that's typically where you'll see it on the barrel the most. All right, but once you got the barrel as clean as you want to, what I like to do, because I don't shoot as often, is I'm going to take a clean patch and just lightly spray your gun solvent on there, or lubricant. I'm just going to use this Breakthrough just because it doesn't spray as much. Just kind of lightly put a little bit of gun cleaner on the patch, and then we're just going to do one pass through the barrel just to lightly coat the inside with a little bit of that lubricant just to keep it from rusting. Just go ahead and run it through there just once and get that on there, and that's pretty much it on the barrel. It's a pretty easy process there. Your recoil spraying, it doesn't get too dirty, but if you want to spray it down and then wipe, use a brush or something to get any gunk in there, typically doesn't get dirty, and then just wipe it down until that's clean. Go ahead and do so. Now for the frame, typically this doesn't get too dirty. You'll get some stuff back in here where the magazine is and stuff like that. So for that, just take another patch, wet it down with your cleaner, and just kind of wipe down all the surfaces. Make sure you get these slide rails and everything back here. You kind of see some like black gunk that gets inside here, so just wipe everything down. You need to come in through the bottom, go ahead and do that. And then just start taking your clean patches and then wiping everything down until it comes out clean. Again, if you need to use a pick to get into some of these areas that's a little more difficult, go ahead and do that. Or like down in here if you need to use that. All right, so just for time's sake, I'm gonna call that good. Wipe down any excess stuff on the exterior of the frame as well. All right, and that's pretty much it as far as cleaning goes. Now we can go ahead and jump into lubricating this gun. So I'm gonna start with the barrel, and really all you need to do is just get the outside, do a light coat of oil on the outside. Anywhere you see wear spots, make sure you pay attention to that. Put a little bit of lube anywhere that you see some wear spots. So especially where the recoil spring sits, I'm gonna put a little bit right there, and then I'm just gonna apply some there, and then just kind of rub it all along the barrel on the outside. Get a nice light coat of oil on that. So you don't want too much, just a light one's good enough. And then for the slide, this anywhere you see wear spots on your gun, where the metal contact is, go ahead and apply a little bit of lubrication on there. What they recommend is putting some lube in the slide rail. So that's where these precision lubricators come in handy, is you're able to actually put it inside these slide grooves here and just do a light coat all the way down. This, and then typically you'll see some wear right here, so a little bit there, and then anywhere else if you see any wear up here. That's it. And then for the frame, you want to pay attention to the rails again. Add a little bit of lubricant there, especially if you can't get any lubricant inside the slide rails on the actual slide itself. Just go ahead and put some here, and then you'll want to put some on this block right here. And then back here on these metal parts, go ahead and just do a little dab on there. Definitely don't need a whole lot on these pistols, which is nice. Just anywhere there's metal to metal contact. And that's it. That's about as far as you need to lubricate it. And so now we just need to put it back together. So we're gonna take our slide, take our barrel, drop that in. Now we're gonna put our recoil spring and guide rod back on. It's gonna sit on those lugs of the barrel right there. Just insert that in and push it down until it seats on the barrel, just like that. All right, once that's put together, we're going to take the slide and frame, line up the rails, slide it back on. All right, rack it a couple times, make sure that lube gets cycled in there and everything. And then I like to pull the trigger, make sure that works. And then while holding the trigger, rack the slide again, and then release it, making sure you hear that reset and everything's good. And then just take a nice clean cloth or paper towel, wipe the excess lube or gun cleaner off outside of the gun as well. And then go ahead and put your mag back in there. And another thing I like, if I were to just go ahead and put this up in the safe for a while, especially if this were like a blued finish or anything like that, I like to take these silicone cloths because they have a light coat of oil on them. And I like to just, anywhere there's a metal finish, just kind of rub it down with this cloth. And it'll get rid of any fingerprints on there, so that way your fingerprints don't cause it to rust sitting in your safe, especially if you're going to store your gun somewhere where be any moisture or could cause it to rust, especially if there's like wear spots on your metal here on the finish. Just go ahead and make sure you get just a light coat of that oil on those metal surfaces just to prevent from rusting. If you tend to shoot it a lot, you can forego that or whatever, but that is just something I like to do if you're going to be doing any type of storing it long periods of time. Gets your fingerprints off of there, so that way the oils don't cause any surface hitting or anything like that. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Super simple. The more you do it, the faster you'll become and more efficient with it. I know when I first started cleaning these guns, it took me quite a while. Now I can do it in no time at all, especially having the right tools to do it with the bore snakes and stuff like that will help your process become a little bit easier as well. Like I said, I'll try to post links to what I use down in the description below if you want to check those out. If you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comments. If you did find this video helpful, go ahead and smash that like and subscribe button, and then you'll be notified when we come out with content just like this. And if you do have a dagger or are thinking about getting a dagger, check out this video up here where I compare it to the Glock 19. Thanks for watching.